Martin had always been a fan of contemporary art, so when he heard about the new exhibit at the gallery downtown, he knew he had to see it. He had heard that it was avant-garde and experimental, unlike anything he had seen before. As he walked through the gallery, he marveled at the strange and unusual art pieces. One sculpture looked like a twisted tree, while another resembled a human form made entirely of wires. The paintings were even more mesmerizing, with swirls of colors and abstract shapes that seemed to come alive. Martin was so absorbed in the art that he didn't notice the strange atmosphere in the gallery. It was almost as if the art was pulsing with an otherworldly energy. As he rounded a corner, he saw a painting that was different from the others. It depicted a figure that was half human and half beast, with eyes that glowed with an unnatural light. Suddenly, Martin felt a chill run down his spine. He could swear that the painting was staring back at him, as if it knew his every thought. He shook his head and tried to shake off the feeling, but it persisted. As he walked deeper into the exhibit, the feeling of unease grew stronger. He couldn't shake the feeling that the art was alive, watching him, waiting for something. He turned a corner and saw a group of people huddled around a sculpture. They were all staring at it with rapt attention, as if it held some kind of power. Martin approached the sculpture, and as he did, he felt a cold breeze sweep over him. He looked up and saw that the sculpture was emitting a strange energy, a kind of mist that seemed to fill the air. Suddenly, the sculpture shifted and transformed, growing and twisting until it was no longer a sculpture, but a monstrous, living creature. Martin stumbled back in horror as the creature lunged at him, its eyes glowing with an evil light. Martin tried to run, but he couldn't escape the gallery. The doors were locked, and the windows were barred. He was trapped, alone with the living art that had come to life and was now hunting him down. As Martin cowered in a corner, the creatures closed in around him. He knew that he was going to die, consumed by the very art he had come to admire. And as his life was snuffed out, Martin realized the terrible truth: the art was not just alive, it was hungry. It fed on the souls of those who dared to admire it, trapping them in an eternal hell where they were consumed by the very thing they had come to admire. Martin was just the latest victim, and he knew that he would not be the last. The living art would continue to feed, growing stronger and more powerful with each victim it claimed. Samantha, Jake, and their friends had been waiting for the carnival to come to town all year. They looked forward to the rides, the games, and the food. They eagerly arrived at the carnival grounds as soon as it opened, excited to spend the entire night there. But as soon as they entered, they knew that something was off. The air was heavy and filled with a strange energy. The music was distorted and discordant. The carnival games were twisted and macabre. It was as if they had entered an alternate reality, a dark and terrifying version of the carnival they had been anticipating. As they explored the carnival, they began to notice that the other attendees were not like them. Their eyes were empty, their expressions blank. They seemed to be under some sort of spell, moving in a trance-like state from ride to ride, game to game. The group tried to ignore it, but they couldn't shake the feeling that they were in grave danger. As night fell, the carnival became even more sinister. The rides moved faster, the games became more difficult, and the food turned rancid. They tried to leave, but every path they took led them back to the entrance. It was as if the carnival itself was alive, trapping them within its grasp. The group became desperate, trying to find a way out. They tried to call for help, but their phones had no signal. They tried to find an exit, but every door led to a dead end. They were trapped, with no way out. Finally, as dawn broke, the carnival came to an abrupt stop. The ride screeched to a halt, the games fell silent, and the other attendees collapsed. The group found themselves back at the entrance, exhausted and traumatized. They stumbled out of the carnival, shaken to their core. As they walked away, they looked back at the carnival and saw that it had vanished without a trace. It was as if it had never existed. The group never spoke of that night again, but they never forgot the horrors they had experienced at the carnival. They knew that they had come dangerously close to becoming trapped within its walls forever.